Hi everyone, Susan Batchelder here with Zelemia TV. In this quick video, I am going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is your DMO, Daily Method of Operation. It's one of my favorite topics because essentially without it, I would have never accomplished as much as I have so far in life, business, parenting. I use it in every part of my life, even self-care, education, um, running the household, business, yeah, everything. And without a plan, success is either not going to happen at all, or it will definitely be delayed. So a daily method of operation just kind of really zooms in to what you are, the pieces of what you want to accomplish. I'm going to go into some details and it'll kind of make more sense. It's really important that you create your own daily method of operation and create it what works for you. So if you're someone that needs to write things down, like a to-do list, a checklist, and have it on a calendar, whether it's some people need to just look at one day at a time, some people a week, and some people a whole month. It's really important to do it what works best for you. If you can do it digitally, set up your schedule or your method of operation, your plan, on your computer or in your phone. So do that part of it sculpted towards what works best for you. There's no right or wrong way other than how it is for you. I had switched to having it all digital, so it was on my computer and some of it was on my phone, and it didn't work as well for me. So I went back to the core of it. The basic part of it is back in a book. Like, I use a journal, and I have two parts of it. So this, like a daily planner, this is my new one that I've started for getting ready for 2015, and it has, I don't know if it'll clarify, but it has 1 week at a time, and then there's parts with the whole month. And then beside it, so it's in two pieces, then I have a journal where I jot all of my ideas for learning, ideas for what I want to do in video, parenting ideas, and then I homeschool my son, so then that's all in one journal, split into sections so that you're not recording anything to memory. Everything is written down, and then you pull from there into your daily method of operation. So what task, what action plan are you going to do to accomplish all of these bigger ideas, dreams, and goals? So that is kind of wraps it all up to what it is. It's a daily plan of action for your life, your business, your self-care, your learning, your growing, your relationships. And it's ultimately a method of being within or creating an organized plan. What it ends up doing is prioritizing and making things more realistic. We can do all sorts of things in our thoughts and think that we can accomplish more than is realistic, and then when you put it down in a list form, you realize that maybe you're biting off more than you can chew, or maybe you need some details to actually put that plan or that wish, that dream into action. So why is it, I kind of covered that a little bit very loosely, but just going to really zoom in as why it's so important to have this daily method of operation. Well, the obvious one is organization. Consistency is another one that really gets missed. I see a lot of people stumbling and tripping because they're not being consistent, and that consistency will come when you make yourself accountable by having a written plan, and then you can see what you wanted to do, what you ended up doing and what you missed and didn't accomplish. It makes more of what you do on purpose, with purpose. So then, to expand a little bit more of that, it helps you create a plan with clear goals. So you might have to, before you zoom into your daily method of operation, you might have to do the 10,000-foot view. What are your big goals? What are your smaller goals? And what stepping stone goals do you need to put in place to accomplish the larger goals? So that kind of gets us a little off the topic of the daily method of operation and into goals, which I do talk a lot about that. I actually have some really good videos with a friend and colleague of mine, Steve Didier, that we did last year about goal setting and some ideas of how to set some clear goals. It's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll put the link to those videos below this video because it's really interesting. We both make goals differently, so we highlighted some really key differences. One method isn't more effective in general than the other. It's really what works for you. So anyway, back to topic. Another reason why I really encourage having a daily method of operation and why I enjoy it is it's a great method of rewarding yourself for task and larger plan completion. When you have it documented and you have a plan in place and you accomplish that, it's really rewarding to see it that you accomplish that. And then it also gives you something tangible to adapt. If you're not getting where you want to get, then you can go back to that daily method of operation and adapt it, adjust it, and make it better. Always tweaking, as if the gears must always be turning for the whole plan to move forward. And it allows you to be proactive rather than reactive. If you don't have a daily plan in place, you're just reacting as the day goes on, and everything is pieced out separately. I speak with a lot of people. In fact, one of my clients just recently, just the other day, one of the big issues was she was separating each section of her life. Like her job was one hat, so to speak, that she wore, and then her parenting was another hat that she wore, and then her business building online was yet a separate hat, and she wasn't putting them all together, so everything was very segregated and separate, and she was essentially just reacting in each role. So putting all that together, because you are one, so you have to have one plan to cover the whole, and once you blend them together, a lot of each section of your life, they overlap because they're all a part of you. So you can do this by having your daily method of operation in place so that you cover all the essentials in each area of your life and blend them together, and you're not feeling so pulled apart in each area. It will highlight solutions more if you have a plan of action. The questions that you ask yourself to look for solutions, it'll just all be much more clear. You'll be able to look at things and your plan and your goals and your dreams in a more realistic way. And there comes the accountability. Then you're accountable for your plan and whether you created it. And all of a sudden, it creates flow. And then when you have flow and in the motion, you get excited about what you're about to accomplish, what you have accomplished, that flow will take your activity, take your business, take all of your life, the learning, the growing, and the self-care to another level, and it'll continue to do that. Another key thing when we're talking about business building and the daily method of action within your business is it will really help you define what money-making activities you're doing, and maybe you're not spending near enough time focused on the actual money-making activities. Facebook is a really key place that I find people get lost in that. You can make a lot of money with your Facebook activities, or you can also distract yourself from any money-making activities at all by scrolling your feed and getting into more social, like chatting conversations, then all of a sudden you're not doing any money-making activities at all. So if you, once you create a daily method of operation and you say that you have to spend an hour doing money-making direct activities on Facebook or building relationships that are directly to do with money-making activities, then all of a sudden you're kind of more social, or the scrolling the feed and curiosity type stuff will be highlighted, and you'll realize where you're spending your time. So what I suggest when you're creating your daily method of operation is choose your most productive time of day. Lots of people, it is in the morning, but if that's not your productive time, then make sure that you're aware of that and put your biggest frog there, so to speak. There's the theory of eat the biggest frog first, and that means that's kind of referring to most people when they first get started, whether it's the morning or you first get started your work in the afternoon, whenever that is. Choose your biggest task or your most challenging task first. So eat that biggest frog first, and then you're not putting it off till later, and then something comes up and something comes up and you never get to it. So put your most important or your most challenging or your biggest task where your most productive time of day is. Focus until completion. So if you are doing some money-making activities, I'm going to use Facebook as an example again, on Facebook, focus on doing that activity until you're finished it before you go off and do some of the other Facebook activities. Definitely focus until completion, and if it helps you to check off on your list that it's done, then by all means do that. Overall, I've mentioned this lightly before, but I'm going to touch on it again because it's important. Adapt your daily method of operation until it works. Keep on adapting it. I'm still adapting mine, and I've honestly been using a daily method of operation since I was a child. I've just always been an obsessed planner, and if it's not terrible if it doesn't work, but I'm always adapting the plan. There's always a plan in place. So I'm always adapting my plan, and life changes and it evolves around you, and we change on the inside. So there's never a set in stone daily method of operation. It just should exist so that you have something, a plan to work from. Do set boundaries for yourself, whether they're rewards or whether they're I have to focus until I'm done, or I can't do this. However it works for you, set boundaries to keep yourself on target. And I do really encourage you to reward yourself when you are doing it well or when you've completed something. So I hope you have completely enjoyed this little touch on daily method of operation. There's lots more that can be done. We can set up mind maps to help you put a good, very personalized daily method of operation together. Or some people really do well with a colored calendar. Google has got a great calendar that you can set out sections of time, and they're all color-coded. Whatever works for you, make yourself a daily method of operation that takes you where you want to go. Ultimately, that's the goal. Thank you very much. Make sure that you leave your feedback in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.